thank you very much for telling us your story today at the Capitol. I know you've had some time since then, and I'm just wondering if there's anything you would like to add to what you said today.
I would say what I want to add from today was to let everyone know how hard that was for all of us today to speak up when we shouldn't have had to. I was a minor. I was 14 years old when these acts happened against me and my survivor sisters, a lot of us. And the fact that we had to stand in front of Congress today and speak our truth was such a powerful thing, but also in the same sense was something that we should have never had to have done. If the government would have done their job in the beginning of this, none of us would have had to come forward and put our face to this. And I don't think it's fair that in order for us to get attention to this case, that my 14-year-old self has to put myself publicly at 37 years old out.
And I so agree with you, Jenna-Lisa, and I'm sorry that you've had to go through what you've had to go through this week, and it is unthinkable what you went through at age 14. You're not the only one who met Jeffrey Epstein at age 14, and as you know so much about this evidence against him. How long were you involved with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell?
I was involved with them long enough for them to do the damage. And I think that that's all that matters. It doesn't matter how many times you went, if you went multiple times, if you were involved for years or not. The damage was done the first time the abuse started.
Jenna-Lisa, what are you finding when you share your stories with other survivors? How has that been for you? Has that been a positive experience?
It's like a double knife sword, right? Like it's empowering and strength in numbers, and to feel like that you're not alone, especially when you have for so long kept this a secret because you thought you were the only one or the few of some. But then having that, being surrounded, especially this time around, being surrounded with all of the survivors, I think it really spoke volumes for all of us to be there and united front for this and show our support for each other, because I don't think anyone else could ever understand what we went through except for ourselves.
As we all know, there are the count goes into possibly the thousands, above 1,000 Epstein survivors out there. And so we're hearing from a very small group of those survivors. You've been both. You've been a silent survivor for a number of years, and now you are a publicly speaking survivor. Tell us about those two different conditions, those two different choices. The choice to be silent, what's that like for the women, you think, who are out there silent tonight, who are watching you, possibly hundreds of them watching you right now, who went through what you went through, but have remained silent and have remained private about it. What do you think their experience is like, and what is the experience like when you make that decision to change and become one of the speaking survivors?
I think being quiet and not saying anything is our own way of how we protect ourselves. A lot of us didn't know that this was such a wide variety. And then once you get the scope of the whole situation that was at play, I think we hold a lot of guilt to that. And I think that silences us a lot, because how do you heal from that, right? But then when you find your voice to get out there and speak, it's intense. You are putting your life on the line, is what I feel like. When you are speaking out and speaking your truth, which I shouldn't have to do because I was 14, but when we were speaking our truth is like, it's so intense and I can't describe it. It's like an out of body feeling. I'm there. I know it's my story. and my truth, but you almost feel like you're detached from your body. And I think that's where therapy and all the mental health stuff comes into play, because it's a lot to come forward. It is a lot. I had a Congress member tell me today, like, we have a hard time speaking out. So for all of you guys to sit out there and speak your truth in front of millions and millions of people that are watching across the country speaks volumes to the strength that you guys have. And I feel so weak at times. So I don't know how people see me as powerful. And I know that, like, speaking my truth is powerful. It's just hard. And it's emotionally draining. And when I go home, I'm going to be feeling this for a very long time.
Jenna Lisa, I can tell you that for me, I'm just in awe of what you were able to do today and what the other women with you were able to do today. And I can completely understand the thousand silent women out there, too, what their choice is. I completely get it. I don't see any easy choice to make here in either direction. But to be able to do what you did out there, with that microphone, with those people, with all of that attention on live television nationally, was really an extraordinary thing to watch for you and the others who you were joined by. And I can tell you that you are believed. You mentioned that in your comments today about what it's like to believe you won't be believed. Can you feel that there are people like us out here now who do fully believe you?
In 2019, when I came out, it was like a circus. And he had already been in trouble for so many years, so the fact that it was a circus. This is the first time ever speaking out, like, publicly, that I feel supported. And I feel supported from all sides, from everywhere. I have had so much amazing feedback today of people reaching out to me and telling me your voice mattered. I was not strong enough to speak for myself, and you were setting the pathway for other victims to come forward. And for me, that was also healing for me. That was healing for me today, because as victims and survivors, we feel crazy sometimes for how we feel about these circumstances. And so to have people supporting us, and I mean supporting us to the T, was absolutely beyond my wildest dreams that we would have this much support this time.
I have to ask you about someone who wasn't supportive today, and that is Donald Trump in the Oval Office, calling what was happening in your discussion the Epstein hoax. He repeatedly called it a Democratic hoax, even though you were accompanied by Republican members of the House as you were standing there. How did you feel about that when you heard that word applied to what was happening there?
So I'm going to go off of my survivor sister, Haley Robertson, and I voted for him. I voted for Trump. And for him to say what he's saying, it is beyond me, because I put my hope in him, and he's supposed to protect us. And for him to say that this is a joke and that it's sides, this is not sides. We will say it time and time again. None of us are up there accusing him of anything. There is no one that is accusing him of any wrongdoing. So for the fact that he is saying those things and saying it's a hoax, who are you hiding for then? Because if it's not you, then who is it? And that scares me. Who is it?
One of the questions that was repeatedly asked by some of the women today was who was protecting Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell for all those years so that they could get away with that? And that seems to be something that many of you have been wondering about. Tell us about that. Tell us about your feelings about that.
The government has been protecting Jeffrey Epstein from the beginning. We can go back as far as he had people calling him out in the 90s. We can call it out when his case brought up in Palm Beach and he got prosecuted. They brought it up to a federal level. Alex Acosta decided that he would bring it back down to a state level and only charge him for 2 women. I can sit here and wholeheartedly tell you they never fully investigated that case at that time. They never truly went into how deep the spiral of twists and turns of who was connected and how they were connected. And we were minors, we were children. I had girls today reach out to me from Royal Palm Beach High School, Palm Beach Central, Wellington High School, telling me I could never have spoken up and you were speaking up for all of us, and it happened. We saw it. And even if they weren't involved, they knew it was going on or had been asked by friend members to participate in that and chose not to. And thank God they did it.
Donald Trump has been known to watch this program. He watches a lot of cable news. He could be watching right now. What would you say to him about the Epstein files? He's in complete control of releasing the Epstein files. They could be released in their entirety tomorrow if Donald Trump simply told the Justice Department to do it. What would you say to him about it right now?
You have daughters. You know what it is like to raise children and to be a parent. Outside of all this hoopla that you're the president or you're Donald J. Trump and you have your Trump stuff, you know what it is to be a parent. You know that. Could you imagine if that was your daughter that was trafficked to people? Could you imagine your 14-year-old daughter having to go through what we had to go through? And then you sit here and say what you said? You should be supporting us. You should be backing us. And if you have any doubt of your mind, our lawyers are ready to speak. We have spoken to FBI. We have just spoken to every law enforcement agency that we could possibly have been asked to speak to. We have been traced down to corroborate our stories. This is not a joke. We spoke our truth and you were telling us pretty much that we're lying. I put my hope in you when I voted for you for our country, and you can't even back us when we need you the most. And we need to heal. We're not healing.
Lisa, as you go forward in this situation, what are your hopes beyond tonight and beyond this week, beyond this issue of the Epstein files?
I hope we truly get transparency through all of this. I hope people listen to us. I hope they decide to release what they need to release, and so we can put this to rest. It is not fair to the rest of us, to the survivors, to sit here and have to endure this media frenzy and this craziness. It's re-traumatizing. It's re-victimizing us every time. And it's not fair to us. We are going on decades of dealing with this. And the government has failed us in every aspect of it. So how do we come from that? We need to heal. We're trying to heal, but we're not healed. And we can't heal until you guys give us what we need. And we need answers. We need something. This can't keep going on. It's truly not fair to all of us.
Lisa, I don't want you to feel constrained just by my questions here and responding to those.
Yes.
So before we go, I just want to give you an opportunity to add anything else that you feel you might want to say tonight.
I just want to thank everyone that is supporting us and listening to us and backing us up, even if that means that you're turning on Trump in the Republican sense to be able to sign this bill, because that sounded what it was to me, like, don't sign it. I hope you guys hear us and see us for as your children, as your loved ones, your brothers, your sisters, and you fight for us, because this isn't fair. We have lost so many survivors already from mental health and having to deal with this and never getting the peace and the justice that we deserved. And we lost it when he died. We lost it when they failed us in the government. Like, come on. Like, when is it our time to just, like, be? Just be humans. Like, we're kind of like aliens.
Jenna Lisa, I can imagine how strange these feelings are, and how you might feel like some sort of laboratory study that we're all doing, zooming in on you. But you've really brought your humanity here tonight to us, and I think we can see you and see who you are. And we really appreciate your joining this discussion tonight.
I really appreciate you having me and to listen to my voice so I could speak for all my survivor sisters.
Jenna Lisa, I'm very sorry that these are the circumstances that you're joining us tonight. I'm sorry for what you've gone through, but we greatly appreciate your voice tonight, and it has been very important. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. O'Donnell.